Welcome back to another episode of the Outsider Sports Baseball Podcast. Corey, Jason, Dylan, Mel, John, Pauline. Guys, we've had a couple moves happen. Free agency is now upon us. The winter meetings will be happening soon. I think a lot of these names will start to come off the board. Not anticipating free agency that lasts into February for a lot of these big names. But we did have a pretty major signing happen recently. The Toronto Blue Jays, the American League champions, signed Dylan Cease to a 7-year, $210 million deal. How are we feeling about it?
There's no salary cap in baseball as of right now. So while I do think it's more than I would have wanted to pay, we do know that the Toronto Blue Jays bank account runs deep and they are willing to empty their pockets usually as a stalking horse for free agents. But if this is a essential Blue Jays tax to make sure they get their guy, I think it's worth paying in this scenario. If you're Toronto, a team that just made it to the World Series, a team that wants to be aggressive and getting back, Cease as your first free agent domino is interesting to me, as Bichette is still out there, as is Kyle Tucker. I guess their budget, I don't want to say is endless, but they have factored Dylan Cease already into it. And it was, let's get this done before Thanksgiving. Let's get this out and ready to roll. And let's make sure we get our guy. You have Gosman, you have Savage, you have Bieber, you have Cease. Pretty solid playoff rotation already set. We'll see what the lineup looks like.
So are we feeling pretty good about the rotation now going into next year? Do we think they might need to add another arm there?
I think like a guy to eat some innings in the regular season, maybe. Like you have Barrios still. What's his name? Bauer, the rookie that they had, Bowden. And so, maybe there's a situation that arises where you need a veteran arm to eat some innings in the summer. But I think their starting pitching is done, especially for the playoffs. Essentially, do you count on Savage to take the jump to be a full-time high-level starter for them? And based on what we saw in the postseason, I don't see any reason to think he won't be.
So do we think that he is worth this contract? Obviously, he's worth it because the team gave it to him. But when I saw this number, I was pretty shocked.
Yeah. Again, I think with baseball, with the way that the salary cap works, every number is different to each team. To the Yankees, who we kind of know have a self-imposed salary cap, which I think is a lot of the time the mindset that me and Corey look at things, where it's around 320 to 340. Would I have wanted to commit the money to Dylan Cease that the Blue Jays did? No, I would not. But if the Blue Jays are playing on a New York Mets, Los Angeles Dodgers type money finances, which nobody's playing with Cohen money, but I do think that the Blue Jays would be willing to spend similarly to the level that the Dodgers spend. And again, for Toronto, we know that there's a Blue Jays tax to get guys. So for me, if I'm a Blue Jays fan, I'm happy with it. So I guess yes. I guess it's fine to pay him that. Like, again, would I have wanted the Yankees or the Phillies or, a team that's playing in that ballpark of self-imposed salary cap to spend resources that many on Cease? No. But for Toronto, as long as this doesn't affect their plans of Tucker or Bichette, if we find out down the line that, they couldn't get Tucker or Bichette because they didn't want to go the extra 20, 30 million over the course of a contract because it was too pricey for them, then I would come back to this Cease deal and say, I regret it. But as long as it doesn't affect what they're willing to spend there, I think it's fine to be all in on a team that was just in Game 7 of the World Series.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And I think the way you framed it of how we kind of look at things with a self-imposed salary cap makes it difficult to contextualize it. But I do think that this is going to have a strong effect on the starting pitching market because you have a guy like Framber Valdez still available. You also have Tatsuya Imai from Japan
And
out there.
Valdez, apparently the Mets are front runners to get him,
Yep. And I
according
think
to a lot of reports.
both of those arms are ones that I would probably rather have over Cease. Even a guy like Michael King, who might not get the years, but I think long term has a higher ceiling.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the buying of Cease because, especially over the term of that contract, there was a time where we thought Cease was going to be in Cy Young conversations. Now, obviously, he hasn't been in recent years, but there's no saying that he can't get back to that level in Toronto.
I just feel like he's getting the contract that he would have gotten if he was in those conversations. And instead, he's getting them when he probably should have, not should have, but I think realistically could have gotten, a lot less. So I do think this raises what we're going to see starting pitchers get. Valdez just took a jump up. King, Imai now. We could be seeing a Yamamoto situation with him where people were predicting Yamamoto to get in the 150s to 160s to 180, and then he jumped all the way to 320, 325.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if we saw the contract jump that high, but
I don't
into the
think that
200s,
high,
I
but
think.
just that type of jump that nobody has foreseen.
Yeah.
Like we could see them getting into the mid 200s now because of this.
I could see that. It depends on the team, and it depends how many.
Right.
Reports are coming that it's Yankees. Reports are coming that it's Giants. If you see the Mets get involved, then yeah, like this is high end bidding. Then, but if the Mets get Valdez and somebody else gets King, and then the market kind of dwindle, like the last guy, the market's going to dwindle for that guy, whoever the last
Right.
guy is.
Now, the starting pitcher market is, not many high-end names, but teams need them.
Yep.
Another thing we saw happen was Sonny Gray got traded from the Cardinals to the Red Sox. Now, Boston sent over to the Cardinals left-hander Brandon Clark and right-hander Richard Fitz, who Boston actually received from the Yankees for Alex Verdugo. So Sonny Gray waived his no-trade clause, and in doing so, the Red Sox had to tweak his contract. Originally, his contract was that he was owed $35 million in 2026 and $30 million with a $5 million buyout in 2027. Now it's $31 million in 2026, and his $30 million mutual option in 2027 now has a $10 million buyout. So with this trade, how do we think that it fits for Boston?
Well, again, I think similar to Toronto, this team cleaned up their playoff rotation. Crochet won, and going into the playoffs versus the Yankees, even in that small set, we saw kind of the weakness of this team. Crochet won. What were you going to be at 2? Now this team, I believe, will confidently roll out Sonny Gray at 2, and Brian Bayo, Connor Early, like those are guys that they could expect to take leaps, or even in Bayo's instance, if he stays where he's at, that's a pretty solid 3. But the 4-man rotation for the playoffs is pretty set. Back of the bullpen with Whitlock and Chapman, that's set. I think that this team's got one more move in them. I think that Bregman won't be there. I think that that's kind of what this move told me. They're going to roll with Marcelo Mayer at 3rd. And I think Pete Alonso to Boston has some very real legs behind it. I know we'll talk about that probably a little bit later. But to me, first base now jumps out as the only real need for this team.
Yeah, I think, obviously you named a couple names. They have Peyton Tolley as well, Hunter Dobbins. You do have Tanner Houck out all of next season with the Tommy John, but they do have some, I wouldn't say all of them are high-end arms, but you do have Sonny Gray, who has been an all-star.
And I think as a 2, that's a solid spot. I do question his mental in playoff games in Fenway.
He's never really succeeded in a big, hungry, kind of crazy market. He did really well in Oakland. Obviously, he had success in St. Louis. Where else was he? Was he on the Reds?
I know where else he definitely was. At some point in his career. The Red sounds familiar. Let's see.
Or was it Minnesota?
Oakland, Yankees, Reds, Minnesota, Cardinals.
There we go.
Both.
Yep. So he had success with those 3 smaller market teams. Now, the Red
He had
Sox.
regular season success with the Yankees, to be fair.
He did, but he also was screwed because the Yankees' pitching philosophy didn't really line up with how he has been successful.
Yeah,
And I do give him a little bit of a break for that, but his mental toughness in New York, was questioned pretty strongly, and now going to Boston, who was arguably up there with the Yankees and the Phillies fans of being a little bit more aggressive with how they treat their players. I wonder if he's going to be able to deal with the boos from a very passionate fan base that has no, qualms with letting the players hear it.
yeah. I will say 7 years removed from his stint with New York, a lot of more time to kind of grow and develop. With the clear number two on this team, I think that those are some things that could help Sonny Gray particularly. So again, it's a concern, not something I'm overly concerned about, but something that if I was a Red Sox fan, I'd go, all right, if we lose the crochet game for whatever reason, can this guy step up?
Right. I mean, so do we think he is somebody they can rely on, or is he going to be more of an innings eater, and he
um,
might even get bumped off as a playoff starter for some of the younger, higher upside guys?
I mean, I think if they're in that spot, they're in a really great spot. I think if we're at the point of like Sonny Gray as like a fringe pitcher, it probably means Bayo or Early or Dobbins, like one of those guys stepped up in a big way, maybe two of them. So if that's the case, I think it's probably more a positive for Boston than a negative. But similar to Bieber for the Blue Jays this postseason, a steady arm, felt like their steadiest, outside of Gosman, a vet that you can rely on. I think that's where Boston's at with Sonny Gray. Maybe you get a high end, really strong season out of him, but I think he's an ideal 2/3, and that's kind of the role that they're going to have him in.
Now, with those out of the way, something that I'm always excited about every year is the Hall of Fame. I think baseball has the best Hall of Fame out of all the four major sports. I think it's the most difficult to get into. And it's so difficult that guys that should be in don't get in on their initial balloting. We have that. We'll talk about that later on in the month, as that'll be done, next year, sometime in late January is when they announce those results. But we do have the contemporary era ballot, which will be done December 7th at about 7:30 on MLB Network. They'll announce those results. And so what this is it's an 8-player ballot. You need 75% of the vote from the 16-member committee. And you need also to get 5 votes from that 16 people to even be eligible for the next balloting in 3 years, because you have 3 different eras that are done. So if you don't get 5 votes, you're not eligible for the next one, but you could go on to the one after that. You don't get 5 votes then, you're not eligible again. If you do, then you can stay on. So with that said, I'm going to name the 8 guys. Tell me what you guys think of their chances and if they have a chance of falling off the ballot. And that's 1, Barry Bonds.
I mean,
I'm starting it off with the guy.
I just think, does he have a shot? I guess so. Falling off, considering they just haven't put him in. I guess there's a shot. It's a joke.
The baseball writers do the original balloting. This 16-member committee isn't just writers; it's also players, coaches, and Hall of Fame members.
I think there should be virtually no shot he falls off because he should be in the Hall of Fame.
The next one is Roger.
Even with the steroids thing, like he was still crazy good.
I know there's like an asterisk by it because of the steroids, but to me, he's the best baseball player of all time.
So
right.
Good.
And then you also have the argument that we don't know if everybody in the hall was clean. Barry Bonds never failed a test. And it's hard to kind of keep out the home run king, the hit king, and the strikeout king.
Well, they figured it out.
Roger Clemens is now the next one up on the list.
I know you mentioned that the Baseball Hall of Fame's hard to get into. I think we got to ease up a little on how hard it is to get into. The fact that we're discussing Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens as hey, maybe they could be up to decide if they could get in. Like, what are we doing here?
Right. At the end of the day, the Hall of Fame is for the fans and the history of the sport.
You just can't tell the history without these guys.
Right. And the plaques, you can always argue that, their artifacts are in the hall, but the hall is also about the plaques.
Yeah.
Their, picture in bronze telling the story. And you know what? The fact that baseball turned their blind eye towards what they were doing makes the whole sport as culpable as them. So if you're not going to, give a punishment to everybody involved in that, then you should give it to nobody.
Yeah,
I
think enough time has passed.
Carlos Delgado is the next one. Over 430 career home runs.
I mean, it's close. It's a lot closer than the last two. I'll say that for me. 430 is a good number. I mean, 500 is like your rock solid, in my opinion. 430, we could kind of debate. I'm going to go with no.
It's
John?
iffy because it's around there. Because I feel like it's a little bit easier to get in the Hall of Fame now, I think, than it was. At least I feel like the 430s, you're flirting with it.
Yeah, I mean, again, my thing is, can you tell the story of baseball without him? The first two?
Yeah.
No. Delgado? Yes.
Yeah.
Now, this is also the same type of committee that, brought in Dave Parker last year. The whole point is to put in guys who may have been overlooked on their initial ballot that have these statistics that stack up against current Hall of Famers. I think there's an argument for everybody I'm going to name. I don't think Carlos Delgado gets in yet, but I do think he gets enough in order to...
I mean, again, there's former players and stuff, so it wouldn't surprise me if they put him up to be on the ballot.
The next name is Dale Murphy.
You're really testing me here. If I'm being honest here.
It's supposed to be difficult.
Yeah, I mean, it's just really difficult.
I say Dale Murphy probably has the second best odds out of everybody I'm going to name into getting in.
I mean, before my time, so all I'm looking at is numbers, if I'm being honest. So if there's an older person watching and their thought is, how is this kid even debating Dale Murphy? Because this kid didn't watch Dale Murphy play. This kid's looking at a 265 slash line, under 400 homers, 1,200 RBIs, though. I think it's probably like the numbers alone are worth getting through this round and getting eligible to be on a ballot. But
no, this is the ballot. This is. So you need 75% of these 8 names. You get 75%, you're in the Hall of Fame.
It's just, you think he's going to get enough to, like, if he's going to fall off the ballot?
Do you think he'll fall off this and not be eligible for the next time they do this in 3 years?
No, I think he gets the 5 that you were referring to, but I don't think he gets in the Hall.
Okay. Now, the next name, though, is the one I think has the greatest chance of getting in out of everybody I'm going to name. And sadly, that is because he's passed away now, and that's Fernando Valenzuela.
Yeah.
One of the greatest rookie pitchers of all time. Great career with the Dodgers. I think he's got the best chance to get in.
I don't know if again, obviously we look at it very differently in terms of Clemens and Bonds.
I'm also looking at, who's realistically.
Yes, who's doing the voting. I do understand there. Over 2,000 career strikeouts, 3.54 ERA. Helps that you played for the Dodgers at this point. Like you mentioned, death makes people think very fondly of you. Rose-colored glasses. So I'll say yes all the way in.
Yeah, I'm with Dylan. I think if out of all of them, I think he's probably going to get in.
Yeah, and not to speak ill on him, I don't think out of all, if you were like, oh, Dylan, you could only pick one guy to get in, it would just be Bonds. But
yeah, of
it's
course,
not up to just Dylan.
It's right. Next is Don Mattingly, who sadly I think might not get the 5 votes necessary because his career wasn't long enough, as much as I really want him to get in.
You think the coaching has helped his case?
I think if he was a manager and won a World Series as a manager, that would help. But, being a coach for, 20 years, it feels like, and now just getting to his first World Series as a coach, I think it might hurt him, if anything.
I mean, 307 career batting average, obviously.
The debilitating back issue, I think, is what's holding him back.
Yeah, probably not. We tried,
Well,
Don.
John, what do you think?
I feel like he probably falls off. I don't think he gets the votes. He might though, considering I don't know if they want to if they don't want to give it to Bonds.
Hall of every good.
He's very well liked. I'll give him that.
Hall of every good, Don Mattingly.
Next up is Jeff Kent, who I think he's not a steroid guy. The reason he wasn't initially in the media hated him because he hated the media. He was known as a very brash, very not very nice guy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna roll with no.
I lean yes. That I think if I had to guess, Valenzuela, Murphy, and Kent would be 1, 2, and 3 in my order of who's most likely to get in.
I mean, 1,500 RBIs is obviously nothing to scoff at. 290 batting average, 377 homers.
Second baseman.
Yeah, I'm gonna rock with no. I think the media still hates him.
I'm just thinking that the players on the ballot,
I don't know, like the baseball media has shown an ability to hold a grudge.
They do.
So,
especially even if you don't deserve it.
I mean, maybe again, the yes and no is if they get in the Hall, or is the yes or no the 5? Which one are we saying here?
It's whatever you want it to mean.
I think he gets the 5 from players. I don't think he gets in because of the media.
Now you also have the last name on the list, and that's Gary Sheffield.
Classic.
Sheffield.
Greatest swing in MLB The Show. Or what is it? What was it? MLB 05? What was the thing called? ESPN's, like with Manny Ramirez on the cover? Ball knowers will know exactly the game.
I know what you're talking about.
The bigs?
Oh, no, what is it? MLB
MVP baseball.
Yes.
MVP baseball 05.
The swing on Sheffield was outstanding. 500 plus homers, to me, this is a yes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
know. Yes.
To me, I don't need another stat other than 500 homers. But if you need more, a 292 career batting average, 907 OPS, over 1,600 RBIs, 500 homers, like 2,689 hits.
But he's accused of juicing.
I don't care.
I don't either, but that is what has held him out.
Accused of juicing.
He was just accused.
None of these guys were ever proven to have done it. Even if they've admitted it, they were never proven to have done it. Other than like A-Rod and like Robinson Cano.
Yeah.
Bartolo Colon.
Innocent until proven guilty. Let him in.
I mean, if you do let these guys in, then when Pete Rose evidently comes up, you got to let Pete Rose in too.
Well, now that he's eligible, you can't hold it against him. That's the other part.
Yeah.
And that's what I don't understand is if these guys aren't being punished.
I'm letting Pete Rose in. I'm letting A-Rod in. I'm letting Cano. Well,
I'm letting Joe Jackson in.
I'll have to look at Cano's career stats.
I think Cano fell off too much in the later
career. But I'm letting A-Rod in, that's for sure.
I'm letting Manny Ramirez in, Andy Pettit.
Again, when I look at the story of baseball, these guys are a part of it.
I agree. But we're going to have to see. But again, to reiterate, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Carlos Delgado, Jeff Kent, Don Mattingly, Dale Murphy, Gary Sheffield, Fernando Valenzuela. That's your 8-man ballot. I think you probably see, if we had to predict, who do we think gets in? Knowing that you have 16 guys, and I believe they get either 3 or 4 votes total. If you had to predict who you
Valenzuela definitely
gets in. It can be
in.
nobody. They can elect nobody.
Yeah, Valenzuela definitely gets in.
Are you predicting a Valenzuela only entry?
I think he gets in, and I don't know about anyone else.
I hate that I agree with that. I hate that that's my prediction.
It's just
Valenzuela only.
I think
maybe
And-
Delgado, maybe
No, I
Delgado, maybe, but I feel like Valenzuela is like the only one there. I feel like would get in, and I feel like
I'm going
Bonds and
Valenzuela and Murphy. I think both of them get in, and I think we're going to get a surprise fall off where they don't reach the 5 votes.
I think Valenzuela, Sheffield, and Bonds. But
Bonds
they
and not
Bonds
Clemens.
finally gets
they
in.
do Clemens dirty, I think.
Interesting.
I can see Clemens falling out, like not getting the votes, and Bonds
I
stays
think
on.
enough people are just going to be like, maybe Barry Bonds was the greatest baseball player of all time.
We'll see. We'll talk about it. They do again. It's the 7th, so we have about another week before we know the results. I think it's probably going to be 2 guys. Maybe you get a third in Jeff Kent, but I think you're more likely to get 1 guy in than 3 guys in.
And I think A-Rod gets in for all his work at Fox.
Yeah.
I think he's just softening up the media.
I do feel like though,
And
the
what was
players-
that documentary that A-Rod came out with? This man's going on a tour trying to get in. He ain't
I
slick.
hope so.
I just
I
feel
would
like as
love
long
to
as the
see
players are
A-Rod in.
there, have a chance, because I think the players might be a little bit more favorable with them, especially like Barry Bonds and Clemens and all
And
these guys in Sheffield.
Jeter and Poppy are putting in a good word for A-Rod.
Yeah, and this is also a big, thing in baseball because we don't know how players will vote on steroid users into the Hall of Fame. We know how writers look at them, but we don't know how current Hall of Famers and players view these guys and what they did.
Yeah, well, if there's any pitchers that ever pitched to Barry Bonds, I think we know what their vote should be.
All right, now let's play a little game. We'll do some free agent predictions. I got a list of guys. Give me where you
And
think
these are the ones we're being held to.
I'm writing them down. We'll review these in March. So again, I'll give you a couple names. I need where they're going to go. You don't have to give me a year and contract number, but if you do,
You're asking too much of me.
I do want to pull back the fourth wall here. Corey asked us pre-recording, did we want the names? And I insisted no. John had no say in this, so
I had no idea.
Dylan said no so quick, John couldn't say yes.
Just give John some grace because he's a guy who likes to prepare a little bit more, and I went to war for this uncomfortable spot.
So the first name on this list is Kyle Tucker. You guys give your predictions, and I'll finish it up with mine.
Kyle
and then
Tucker.
we'll go on.
I wasn't ready for a name like this.
No, what were you thinking? Reese Hoskins?
Did you? I know you said Yankees, John.
I said
real quick. Did you guys see the report that came out that Tucker was the Yankees' backup plan for Bellinger?
I thought that was
who's putting this out.
Honestly, I thought Centel finally branched into baseball when I saw that.
I think Kyle Tucker goes to the Toronto Blue Jays. I'm so bad with the money, but I think we're looking at 7-8 years.
John?
He said Yankees.
You said Yankees?
Yankees.
I have Dodgers, and he signs 10 years for 10.
This guy you predict the worst every time we do anything.
I think the worst of what's going to happen.
If your predictions are just Dodgers, everybody, because I saw that TikTok, I don't need to see it in this video.
Next up is Bo Bichette.
See, Bo Bichette's interesting because I have Tucker going to Toronto. Do I predict them to pay both of them? No. I think can't go with what my heart wants. Got to go with what my brain says. I think in a weird move, because I do think there's going to be a trade before this happens, but I think Bo Bichette to the Texas Rangers.
Any thoughts on years or money?
8, no money. I think that they trade Seager, and I think that they're kind of starting with a younger core here.
John?
I'm gonna say he stays with the Blue Jays, just considering the Blue Jays have had trouble getting free agents to go there.
Okay.
Previously, and they finally got one in Cease, finally, and I feel like they just shell out the money. I mean, they gave the money to Vladdy. Might as well give the money to Bichette. Keep everyone together. You got your pitcher. Keep Bichette.
My thing is how well that infield played without him. Kyle Tucker is more intriguing to them.
That's if they can get him there. That's the thing.
Well, I predicted they could. So.
I think he does stay in Toronto, but I think Toronto gives him more years to lessen the AAV. I'm going 10 years, 260.
Then Dark Horse Dodgers just because.
No.
All right, next up is Framber Valdez.
Mets. How old's Framber? 26? Am I tripping?
Let's see. Check.
32. My bad, Framber. Put you a little
It's a little bit.
just messed that up a little bit. Mets. I'll say 6. I think that they are willing to eat the back end of it.
I kind of want to say Mets too.
But what do you
Just
really want to
'cause-
say?
I almost want to just say Dodgers. just more pitches because I feel like the Dodgers, like they just have the money, and it's just like they feel like they
So
go
do
for
the Mets.
everybody.
The Mets have the
But
money.
the Mets also have the money and stuff, and I feel like they do need pitching. And it's
What
like
about Toronto?
What about the Orioles? Your Orioles.
That's if they have the money. I
Phillies?
don't know if they're going to show the money out. That's the problem.
So who are we going with officially? Who do you want to be on record as predicting?
The Mets. Like if I'm predicting the Mets, if I'm screwing around, let's say
I'm also predicting the Mets, but I'm saying
Yeah.
7 for 224. I think they get into a bidding war.
Clean sweep of the Mets. Now you know it's not happening.
Alex Bregman.
I'm doubling up on Mets. I think that they will get to Alonso, but I don't think he's a Met. And I think that they give that money to Bregman and Vientos as a first baseman next year.
Any guess on years or money?
Bregman. How old's Bregman?
Old.
Yeah. He is 31. I'll say they line it up with Framber, 6 years.
He's an old 31, though.
Yep. They don't care.
John?
jeez. You know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna say I still think the Red Sox get him back.
I agree. I think it's
It just-
Boston.
Yeah.
I think you're right, John. But what do you think? I think 6 years, 180. Does that kind of fall in line with what you think?
I'm thinking around there, maybe.
I don't think
around-
Boston's given him 6 years. I think
I don't
that
know.
core is so young that I think they would rather high AAV over a shorter term deal in Boston.
I just think they realized what he brought to that young core in the leadership.
I think they'd rather give 4 for more.
Maybe.
I think they'd rather do that 180 over 4.
It just depends on how much they view him long term. Like, can his swing play as he ages in Boston? If
Yeah.
it can, then it's worth it.
They already have a DH there and questions at first. Mayer is a stud player that you got to get him on the field.
There's a lot of question marks. Bregman, you can also teach first base. You know that they need first base. But
Well,
the next
traditionally
thing might bring
third
up.
basemen there aren't willing to learn first base.
Well, especially if they play in Boston, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean San Francisco, then sure.
Or, Atlanta to Dodgers. Freddie Freeman used to be a third baseman, learn first base. Next name, though, Pete Alonso.
Boston. I think that the polar bear is headed to Boston. Reports are suggesting they're in on him. I believe him. It's his position of need. He gives pop. I think his swing will play well there.
John?
Astros.
I mean, I so badly wanted to say to the Phillies, but I don't actually believe it, but I do think it's the most hilarious outcome.
It would be,
It would be.
especially with Zach Wheeler and all that in that history.
It would be. I just don't know how they would fit that in there unless they moved Harper back to the outfield or something. Or if they just completely give up on signing Schwarber.
Or you can trade Harper.
They could do that. I mean, I don't know.
Right now, I think Alonso goes back to the Mets, 6 years, 160.
They don't respect him.
They don't, but I think that they end up just biting the bullet and bringing him back because they realize what he means to the fans. But now we got Kyle Schwarber.
I want to say Phillies. I think I'm going to say Phillies. I think Boston and Detroit are real options.
Kyle from Walton making a return.
Yeah, but I'm going to go with the Phillies.
How many years? Because he's in a unique situation with his age.
I mean, he's already the DH, so like you're just paying him to swing a bat. So I mean, he is 32, but I think 5, 6.
I think that's not a terrible thought. I could see 4 at a higher AAV, but I feel like Philly doesn't want to pay the higher AAV. They'd rather hold him for the extra 2 years.
I could see it going all the way up to 7 or 8. To be honest, I could see them just going. He could be the DH till he's 40.
John, this is your guy.
He's probably. I think the consensus from what I've been reading is that he's gonna stay a Philly. They're just really far apart right now on like years and money. But I feel like I'm pretty sure he's gonna stay a Philly.
I also have Phillies clean sweep there. I got 6 for 150.
Man, Valdez and Schwarber, new homes alert.
Next up, Cody Bellinger.
The Yankees. Every report that I've seen basically is saying that the Yankees are making him a priority. They're willing to open up the bank account for him. Heyman reported that they're not like at the same spot on a number right now. I feel like we hear that all the time. I think he wants to be a Yankee, and I think that he's their big positional player signing. I think any other positional player move comes in a trade. I think Seager is potential, but I think Bellinger is the free agent signing.
How many years? Since years right now is what Heyman reports is what's really keeping them apart.
Which is interesting because the Yankees normally don't mind going long on the years,
but they do mind with him, and they don't want another DJ LeMahieu, Aaron Hicks situation.
I'm going to say 6. I'd imagine the Yankees want to do 4 to 5. He wants to do 7 to 8. They probably meet in the middle.
John?
Well, I said Kyle Tucker for the Yankees already. So
would be a loaded outfield.
That'd be crazy.
One I would not really be opposed to.
So, I mean,
you don't say.
Do I think they're going to open their wallets up for both of them? Probably not. But, to be kind of funny here, I'm going to say he just flip-flops to the Mets.
I was going to say, if you picked Yankees, you would have had like a really good shot of getting one of 2 correct. If you wanted to like play that game of it.
I also have Yankees. And now, to be fair, I was closer to giving the Yankees neither Tucker or Bellinger than I was to giving them both. I had Bellinger to the Mets written down, and I had to erase it. I have the Yankees getting Bellinger and losing the argument with Boris. 7 years, 189, and it makes me very sad.
I mean, here's the thing with Cody. He could play all 3 outfield spots. He could play first, lefty bat. The most consistent player for them during the regular season. Wasn't a great playoffs, but I don't think he was the problem with the team.
Next name up is Michael King. This is where we start to get really interesting because the guys I have written now are ones that can go just about anywhere.
I would love to see King back to the Yankees. Instead, I think he's back to New York, but on the Mets. I think that they're heavy in on their rotation this offseason. I think that it's going to take more than one Valdez signing to fix that up. And I think Michael King is a good kind of combination with Valdez.
John?
I'll say Yankees.
I'd love
I
it.
feel like you can't go wrong with saying Yankees, Mets, or Dodgers for almost like any player.
Well, I'm going to say neither of those three for this guy. I'm going San Francisco Giants, 3 for 60.
They're going to be
Eastern
spending.
Division.
They're going to be spenders too. I think.
In division,
At least they're going to try to be.
They're going to try. I think they might end up having to settle for King, but in division, he knows the Dodgers. I think this will be a good signing for them. But I do think in that 3 years, you'll have opt-outs after year 1 and year 2 to let him reset his market and hopefully get a longer-term deal. Next name up is Luis Arias. Tougher.
I'm going to say I don't think they need a DH. And they already definitely have a second baseman and a first baseman. So maybe I shouldn't say them.
Do you guys want me to give my name for this one while you guys think it out?
Yeah.
I right now have him going to the Rangers, 2 for 20.
I could see that. Man, a name that I wanted to say Detroit.
They have Blake Torres back.
I know. And they have Torkelson and they have Carpenter at DH. I just can't find a spot for him in that lineup. I'm gonna throw out a gross guess. The Los Angeles Angels.
That is really gross.
I mean, they want to spend.
John,
I don't.
the impossible task. It doesn't get easier.
Task. Do you think the Padres just keep him?
They could.
I mean, it's not a bad guess.
I mean, like, because they
went
went all in for Miller and everything. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe. I mean, the rumors they want to do downsize because they think about like selling the team, but.
And they still need guys to fill out the roster.
Yes,
right?
I mean, and I feel like I say let's go with they just stays on the Padres. Just
when he's on the Angels, we're gonna remember who sniped it.
All right, here's a fun one: Justin Verlander.
Astros, one more year with the Astros. Call it a career. They're gonna lose Valdez. He'll be a back in rotation guy.
I'm in the same thought process as you, but I say one more year on a return to Detroit, 1 for 15.
Yeah, would be cool.
probably just stays on the Astros. I feel like that, unless the Mets want to sign him again.
Baltimore needs pitching.
So,
I genuinely think now more than ever the Yankees are a possibility because of the injuries that they have to their starting rotation right now.
And he's always wanted to be on the Yankees, so he might get 1 year with the Yankees.
And we'll talk about him, but if they miss out on Amai, like this is, I think if they don't get him, the Verlander's going to be a Yankee.
Devin Williams.
Dodger. I think he's going to go to the Dodgers. I think he's going to be lights out.
I'm only giving him a 1 year, $15 million show me deal.
Yeah, but I think he's going to be lights out.
John?
oh, Mets.
Oh.
Yeah.
Luke Weaver.
Let's get nasty with it. Cincinnati Reds.
Back to Cincinnati.
Yep.
That's interesting.
Told you I was getting nasty with it. Should have said the Pirates. They're big spending. Luke Weaver.
I almost was going to say the Pirates. I was like,
since they want to spend so much, apparently.
So I was almost going to say Pete Alonso for the Pirates. Like Pirates get Pete Alonso.
Pirates spending money. Good one.
John, where do you think Devin goes?
You know what? Giants. San Francisco Giants.
They crossed my mind.
I have him going to the Mets and doing exactly what Clay Holmes did. They're going to sign him 2 for 15, and he's going to be a starting pitcher for the Mets.
Yeesh. Good luck. It's exactly what I said about Clay Holmes.
Now we got Tetsuya Imai.
The Yankees. And this one is 1,000% just me picking with my heart.
I don't
John?
know who this is.
This is the Japanese pitcher.
This is the guy who would be the greatest accomplishment of his
Dodgers.
life to destroy the Dodgers.
Oh,
It
you
would
would
be the great.
Dodge?
He said he'd like to play with Otani and Yamamoto, but then he said it would be the greatest accomplishment of his life to beat the Dodgers. So that's why I want him on the Yankees.
He's also said that he doesn't really want to play on a team with another Japanese player because he wants
Phillies.
to go through the trouble.
Let's go with the Phillies because they've been trying to get. They've been.
Yeah, he doesn't want to be in the slum of the country, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, welcome to Kensington, Imai.
But I'm
feel
picking
like
with my
Dodgers
mind and not my heart, unlike Dylan. So I'm saying the most likely outcome is that he's a Yankee. I think he signed 6 years, 180, which is pretty on par, a little over what they're predicting for him. I think he has a chance to be a very solid mid-rotation arm. I'm not looking at him being a sub-3, even a sub-3.5 pitcher most years. He'll be anywhere between 3.25 and 4. But I think that's fine.
But he'll be a playoff guy. You could just tell already.
He'll be a playoff guy. He will give you dominant outings. He's going to be consistent. You're not going to have the blow-ups. And honestly, the Yankees need to get back into the Japanese market after Tanaka losing out on Yamamoto, Otani. I mean, you have Shota, Seiya Suzuki, even Kodai Senga. These really great players choosing to go elsewhere. The Yankees need to get back out there. They used to be, Hideki Matsui, Kiyagawa. I mean, again, Tanaka, who I would say just about every Yankee fan thinks fondly of.
And Matsui and Tanaka both still actively recruit for players to go to the Yankees, which
Yes.
I think is a big up for them in this instance.
So I think 6, 180. I could see him going a little bit more, but I think once we start to get into the mid to high 2s, then the Yankees would probably back off. And I think that's okay because he's not the same caliber pitcher as a Sasaki or a Yamamoto. He's a little older. He's 27?
Yeah, I think that's a fair number.
And then the last name is Edwin Diaz.
Back to the Mets. But, and it's not a prediction, but I do think San Francisco and the Dodgers will drive up the price.
John?
I have the Mets getting I just forgot his name. How did I forget his name?
Did you have them getting Devin Williams?
Devin Williams, thank you. Yeah. So I'm gonna say Dodgers, Diaz.
Diaz to the Dodgers. The Dodgers are in on it. I think Edwin Diaz smashes the record for most money for a closer. I think he gets 6 years, 120 from the Mets. I think the trumpet stays in Queens. And when you go to that new Hard Rock that Steve Cohen was just given rights to for gambling outside of Citi Field, they will blast the trumpets every time you walk through a door. Instead of a wind chime, it's going to be the trumpets.
Yeah, bonus prediction, the Yankees trade for Corey Seager. Just throwing it out there. Because why not?
Yankees trade for Seager?
I mean, listen, Bellinger, Judge, Seager, Stanton, Rice. That's pretty good.
And Ranger Suarez goes to the Astros.
Yeah?
Yep.
No. Ranger Suarez to the Orioles. That way John can continue to root for him.
That'd be great.
If I'm going to make a bold prediction that I don't want to be held accountable for, the Yankees trade for Fernando Tatis Jr.
That one's predicting with your heart. I mean, I'm with you. I'm here for it. Obviously, I'm here for it, but don't sign my name off as predicting that.
I'm not predicting it. I just really, 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 really want it to happen, and I'm going to speak it into existence, just like I did with the New York Football Giants signing Kenny Golladay. It might not happen this year. It might not happen this deadline.
Oh God! Does that mean that Tatis is going to suck when he gets to us too? Eesh.
No, because you have the Eagles magic that's going to bring them up.
Yeah, it's really working right now.
Any final predictions for free agency?
I have a prediction. The last time we recorded this, something big happened within 48 hours of us recording, because it was recorded on Monday. It goes out on Wednesday. So we recorded this, again, breaking the fourth wall, Monday night we're finishing right now. It's 8 p.m. Eastern. By noon Wednesday, something that didn't make this video that should have will happen.
I'm gonna get called out on it in the comments, like
why didn't he know?
All right, so that's gonna do it for us. As we finish this recording, I have the Giants Patriots game to watch. So
Drake May Monday, baby. Let's ride.
It's gonna be a darty party in Foxborough. All right. Corey, Jason, Dylan, Mel, John Pauline signing off.